So, what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you missed a lot of people for a long weekend. It was kind of exciting to have so many people. And, well, you missed me back after a couple of weeks, just sort of in as my own guest preacher, as I'll be away for another week. But today, well, today we heard about the feeding of the 5,000, and we wondered about what it would be like if we lived with the attitude of abundance rather than the attitude of scarcity. When everybody tells Jesus there's not enough food, Jesus says, yeah, there is enough. And lo and behold, there is. So what would it be like if we imagined that there was enough? Enough justice for everybody, enough peace, enough love. Perhaps if we lived with a sense of abundance, we wouldn't have to hoard. We wouldn't have to guard. We could share freely. We wondered about that at Jubilee today. And then we heard the story of Jacob wrestling well, with a man, with an angel, with a stranger, perhaps with God. Jacob's not really sure with whom he wrestles. And as we listen to the story, we recognize the reality of the story. The reality that we all wrestle. And sometimes we imagine it's a stranger with whom we wrestle. Late at night, wondering, filled with anxiety or worry, tossing and turning, we all wrestle. But eventually we all have to face our past, much as Jacob did. Jacob's brother is coming. Jacob will have to face his past. The birthright that's not entirely his. The reality that he's not always been a good brother. And as he stays up by himself by the river and wrestles, he realizes that he is wrestling with God. A God who invites us to take responsibility for our past. A God who invites us into wholeness. A God who wrestles with us so that we can find that wholeness. At the end of the battle, as Jacob demands his blessing, as Jacob finishes wrestling, he is forever changed. He limps, because this is not a fairy tale where everything works out easily. Jacob is forever changed, and some of the change hurts. But Jacob discovers that the past does not define or confine him. Jacob discovers, as we all discover when we truly wrestle with the past, when we wrestle with ourselves, when we wrestle with God, that we are loved for our success and our failure. We are accepted in love for our weaknesses and our strengths. And when we take responsibility for who we have been and who we are, we discover that the sun rises and we no longer need to look over our shoulder, afraid of the past catching up with us. We discover that God is still with us. God blesses us, not for who we pretend to be, accepting the part of us that we've tried to hide. God accepts us for who we are exactly as we are and loves us that way. That's what Jacob discovered. That's what we shared today at Jubilee, and that's in fact what you missed. You missed that and some fantastic music by our new music director, Daniel Rubinoff. And hopefully you're not going to miss much more, that you'll join us soon. Until we see you again, God bless.